Right, good evening, folks. Welcome back to VP4TV. We're here for another round one match in this year's virtual 9-ball World Championship in VP4. We have a match between Cobra, of course, the most recent winner of one of the championships, won the straight pool, representing the UK, up against Sergeresh, representing Belarus. Both players are here. Both players have been in getting practice. And Sergeresh is still in his room. And this tournament room will begin up in about 3 minutes. Quick look at the schedule. Wait a minute to turn that volume down. I can hear the volume coming through my phone. No, the volume was coming through my phone. Is it okay now? It should be okay now. I had the volume up my phone. Anyway, this is a match I'm covering tonight between Cobra and Sergeresh. We have another match, quite a big match as well. Albanario up against LS3. I'm not sure if it's a round one or round two. We'll worry about that later. But I'm wondering if Slim is going to be back for that one at 8 o'clock. That's another hour's time. We've got Brainful out in Acero at midnight tonight, and I presume Slim will be around for that as well. We've got MC_Clarkey and Bankster on Monday at 7 o'clock. I'm hoping to be around for that one. We've got Mr. Fox and Spectre Dawn on Monday as well, and that's at 8 o'clock. And again, hopefully Slim will be around for that. So those are the matches on the schedule. We've had a couple of recent matches that I remember. The one between Stubb and Wanwa, and there was also a match between Bedhead and Miasma. Now, Bedhead slaughtered Miasma 19 racks to 1, and well, Wanwa, I saw some of that, and I don't want to see any more of it, to be honest with you. Stubb managed to win at 19-6, but Stubb made a hell of a amount of mistakes, and Wanwa was just nowhere near up to the task. Goodness knows what happened to Miasma. He must have just laid down and died in that match. He should have got more than one rack in it. But I keep going on about players not using their heads. And I think, in my judgment, I don't think Wanwa or Miasma did. Because you shouldn't be getting slaughtered that badly. Not in this. It's a game. You've got to use your common sense at times. So anyway, let's hope that Sergeresh is going to put up a better fight here tonight and make a match of this thing. No information if Steve is going to be here. In fact, I don't know whether Steve is in the lobby. He is. I'm going to check Discord because I've got it open. And no sign of him in Discord. So I'll leave the Discord up for the time being. And if he comes into the room, then I'll know he's there. And if he doesn't turn up, I'm going to shut it down. Right, so we're in the room. I'm going to set it to blue. Obviously, Cobra won the lag. Let's just go to miscellaneous and blue. Well, if they're anything like me, I've just finished my dinner about 5 minutes ago. And I think that's the thing about a Sunday afternoon. Don't forget, the weather is good as well up here and around the UK. So a lot of people will be out with their families or just getting home from being out all day. That tends to happen when the good weather's around. But no doubt, once they've had their dinner, you'll get 2 or 3 dropping by. So Sergeresh is in. Cobra, I wonder if he come up with a dry break, because obviously we missed it. And straight away, Sergeresh has got himself in bother. He's hooked himself. Now, if he goes off the long rail to kick this 4, he could scratch off it as well. He's going to attempt to jump. Good luck with that. And he's got it. But of course, you've no control of the cue ball. But at least he can try and come up with some sort of safety, unless he's going all out for the cut. You know what I had for my dinner tonight? I thought I fancy something simple. I had Swedish meatballs in a nice creamy sauce and a big plate of chips, and I put the Swedish meatballs all over the top of them with the sauce. It was lovely. I just fancied something that was simple, and I had that. The only thing I didn't get was a cup of tea or a cup of coffee to wash it all down because everything was in a hurry. And then when I got here and I booted up XSplit, lo and behold, they've decided to do a major update. So I've just updated XSplit. So fingers crossed we don't get any issues. Fingers crossed the PC stays okay as well. Yeah, we're more than likely going to have Albi Cobra round 2 with the greatest respect to Sergeresh and LS3. Unless they really step up their game and give these guys bother, it's going to be comfortable wins. I mean, LS3 has got a good chance. The problem for LS3 is she doesn't get a lot of table time and comes online, plays in piddly little tournaments. But she's got a good enough game that, given the opportunity, she can certainly take racks off Albinario. I would expect LS3 to put up a more substantial effort than some of these guys have done in these past couple of matches. Wanwa was shocking, some of the stuff he was doing. So anyway, Cobra ends up getting the first rack. And he may well have come up dry again in the break. I presume he came dry in the first break, and he's dry again. And Sergeresh needs to come up with something a bit better as a push. Well, it's given Cobra the choice of a cut either way, and both of them are dodgy. But if he goes to the left pocket, he's going to try and draw to the rail and come out and hold for the 2 here. He's got to dig deep into this cue ball. And again, you've got to come up with a better push out, Sergeresh, because all of these balls are on. And this is just, well, this should be an easy enough run out for Cobra. I mean, 4 balls up top. He hasn't got to move the cue ball anywhere. 5 ball goes past the 6. I suppose the only one where there could be a slight problem is going from the 6 to the 7, and the 7 looks tight up top. Yeah, that is frozen to the rail. He needs to get up here onto this 7 ball. If he starts leaving a big cut in this 7, he's going to be in trouble. It's going to be a testy one, that 7 ball. So are you the only one that's in? Well, Albi doesn't need to. That's the thing. He seems to find his game. Well, I've got 6. I've got 6 people in the chat. Once again, Coldest Pillow's the only person that's actually saying anything. Say something, for goodness sake. Anybody. Say hello, even. I'm feeling a lot better than what I did. As I said to Coldest Pillow the other night, the throat's a bit rough. And you see what I said about Cobra having to get good in the 7, and that's good in the 7. And that's where he's got the huge advantage, because he moves the cue ball generally very well. And this is why Sergeresh is up against it. But don't forget, all of this came about from a poor push-out from Sergeresh. And he's going to have to move the cue ball here. A decent bit of left English in this cue ball he'll need. And you've got to watch that side pocket. And that's perfect. Absolutely stonewall perfect on the 9. Oh, aye, that sounds good as well. Now, you've got to have either roasted potatoes or boiled mash or something with that. Especially, you know, to soak up the gravy and stuff. Lovely. So, 2-0 to Cobra. This time he's got a ball. He's got no shot, but I'm pretty certain he'll leave Sergeresh in a bit of bother here. loads of cover up table. As long as he can get the path up there and get this one ball thin enough, he should have Sergeresh in a good spot of bother here. Has to be thin off this edge, and that'll do. And he's got the cover. And Sergeresh hasn't got a line to get to that one ball on the right rail. And he's going to be a hard push to get it off the left rail as we look. He's going to have to spin this up a good bit. Oh, just a fraction out. Well, there goes the third rack, you would think. So Cobra just getting his bearings. So that again, this is what everybody should do. When you end up with ball in hand on a table like this and all the balls are apart, you know, there's a little bit of movement needing done here with the cue ball, but you've got to know where you're going first before you commit. Now, he's gone too high on the two ball, so he's out of line here a wee bit. Now, he could... Let's have a look at this. Yeah, this is thin, and he might be having to take a risk here, try and get around the back of the 4 and the 9 and miss a collision. Now, if he comes around the 4 and 9 and bumps the 6, there won't be any complaints, because the way this cue ball wants to go, it looks as if it's taking that sort of line. It's thin, but commentator's eye says he's going that way, that way, that way, something like that, and down there. Well, he's drawn it. He's drawn it to avoid the collision, but he's ended up hooked. Maybe he should have just ran it. Or has he hooked it? He might have enough to pot this. No, he doesn't. So he could cross bank this to the short rail up top and duck for cover here. I don't think he can hit it hard enough. I think that's the problem. In fact, he can't get it. He can't get it. Oh, he's got lucky as well. He's got lucky. Well, I don't think it's that big a difference, the fact that there's no jump cues. You know, everybody's playing in a level playing field. The one thing about Spectre Dawn is that he moves the ball pretty well, but his problem is when it gets down to the tactical side and coming up with good push-outs and stuff like that. That's his weakness. It's been seen time and time again. This time, Sergeresh gets a bit of a lucky roll. Oh, wait a minute. I think he can go right through the gap and get that 3 ball, but you can't pot it. I'm pretty certain he can get through the gap. It's tight, but he can certainly hit it. He might want to try and stun behind the 4 and 6 or down by the 1. No, he's hit it full in the face. Maybe he couldn't get enough of it. Well, this time there's a chance. And opportunities like this might be few and far between for Sergeresh, but he's going to have to make the most of it and show this guy that he's capable of dealing with stuff like this. That needs to come out. Well, this is so important. A wide open table. It's all about just moving the cue ball and keeping it under as best control you can. And this should be simple. Welcome to Hazard. Any joy? The one thing about Popman is, when I sent him a message in Facebook about 3 days ago, he was showing online in Facebook. And I got no reply from him. I've not had a reply yet from him. I also sent an email to the email that Steve says is his account for Thunder Bluster. I would no reply on that either. Now, I know he's got a lot of things in his mind, but he should switch his phone on now and again if he's got Facebook on it, and he would get these messages coming through. Because unless he's decided he doesn't want to be bothered getting things fixed to play this match, because I think he's only got a day left to get it done. And if he does this right, he should be fixed. But I can't get a hold of him to tell him. Well, he could be out enjoying the good weather as well, for all we know. But like I said, if anybody sees Popman or Thunder Bluster in the lobby, tell him to go and check his Facebook messages and also to check all of his email addresses. Because I sent him an email. Well, again, ball in hand for Cobra. This 2 ball's a bit awkward because all of these balls are sort of guarding the path to it. Obviously, the best gap is the 3 and 6. You've got the 3 and 8 to go through. And he's well in there, although he's going to be hampered big time. This changes it straight away. Doesn't want to put anything unwanted English-wise on that cue ball. And it almost stayed up. Used all of the pocket, and he's slightly the wrong angle. Now, can he avoid that 6 ball? I know he can't. And he's in two minds here what he's going to do. Is he going to play the big draw and spin this big time to try and come around to 8 and 5? Yeah, looks as if he is. Yeah, that was a big ask. That was by no means easy, that shot. But again, he's come up smelling the roses. What's this OK Hugh cheers thing? Is that him sending me a message? Ah, right. So you finally got him to respond, right? So hopefully, if he checks his email, he can let me know. Right, hang on a minute, guys. I'm just going to type him a message. Right. I'm just going to bring not Facebook, YouTube back up on my phone. Hang on a minute. I'll be back with you. Right. I've asked him if he could come into the stream because I want to talk to him. He might be sitting at his dinner. Anyway, where have we got to? Cobra's now 3-1 up. And Sergeresh, again, every time you get an opportunity like this and you're the underdog like Sergeresh, you've got a table like this, you're good enough, you should always be getting yourself out. You can't throw away chances like this. This is just a complete waste of time if you can't get this done. Right, so I'm going to give Sergeresh this. I can't see him missing this 9 ball. I'm going to tab out and shut down Discord. Back in a sec. Wherever it is. Where the hell is it? I'm trying to find it in the little things. There we go. Right, let's get rid of that. So Sergeresh back to within 1. Looks as if he's come up dry. No, he hasn't. He's got the 6 ball. And he's got a shot now. Once again, there is not a problem in this table. And straight away, he's probably doing fancy stuff with the cue ball, putting loads of English on it to get a line in the 2, which he didn't really need to overdo, and he's wasted an opportunity. Now, that's numpty stuff doing that. Because that was a perfectly good table for running out. Now, Slim was online earlier, so I'm just hoping that he's intending to come back to cover that match with Albin Aru and, LS3, which is at 8 o'clock, so that's an hour and 40 minutes time. But this is a rack that's gone a begging here for Sergeresh. He should have been all square. And he knows that. Well, I hope he knows that. They're the man himself. So that's a match to look forward to later on. The gap goes back to 2. Four balls going in. No, 1 ball goes in, half a pocket. Oh, he's forfeited. Why did he forfeit? What, is he doing something at midnight tonight then? Some kind of pagan ritual? Running naked across the field or something at midnight that he couldn't play the match? Oh, that's nasty. That is nasty. Right, I'm going to have to put my fan on because I'm building up a sweat here. Hang on a second. I'm beginning to boil. We can't have that. Right, hang on. See if I've got the fan in the right direction here. No, I've got it too far away. Hang on. Got to get everything right here till I get comfortable. That's better. Right, where have we got to now? It's going to be 5-2. And that early threat that Cobra is going to run away with this unless Sergeresh gets wise to the situation. He needs to get wise to it rather rapidly here, or we could end up with another bloodbath. Couple of balls have gone in. And again, he's going to be hampered. He won't be potting the one. Definitely won't be doing that. He's going to be ducking for cover here, but this is tricky. Hampered right over the top of the two. Maybe having to check this up with right English here. Bank the one up the table on the left-hand side. Try and use the cover behind the 3 and 9 here. And that's well played. Well, there's not much you can do when you're coming to the table in your last 2 visits and you're nailed behind a ball. You can get this off 2 or 3 rails here. And just missed it. Oh, so close, but not close enough. And that's what I'm talking about, playing wisely. Now, these guys that get hammered, none of the 2 of them were using their head at all, especially Wanwa. He was all over the place. His bottle completely went. But if you use your head and play a sensible game, you can keep yourself in some of these racks and pinch some of them. But, you know, I've never seen Wanma play so badly as what I saw the other night there. He was shockingly bad. And but certainly not using the head at all. But it's time Sergeresh gave Cobra some of his own medicine here if he gets in. If he's going to try and outshoot Cobra, then that is destined to fail. But he's got to try and come up with a little bit of strategy here. Well, I mean, the one thing, Slim, is it's about controlling the table as well. You know, yes, if Spectre Don's breaking good and winning racks, and then when he's not got a shot, he's burying you, there's not an awful lot you can do. But I'm talking about these guys that get pumped. What was it, 19-5 or something, and 19-1? There's no excuse in that situation. They're better than that. They really are. They're a lot better than that. to get humiliated like that. And I guarantee that most of it is just not thinking properly, not doing sensible stuff. So we're into rack number 9 already, and Cobra has a healthy lead. Dry break. And I think the 4-ball goes through the gap, but that's the least of his problems, because look where the 3 is, right next to the cue ball. So he's got his work cut out here, and I think he's lucky there that he's got a shot, because I think he would have wanted that 2-ball to stay in the table, but now this is a big test. Well, that needs to keep running. I don't know that it's getting there, is it? Oh, I think he's okay. I think he can tweak it a little bit and pinch a bit of an angle here if he needs to. Yeah, well, hang on. He's still okay. 7-ball goes past the 9. Got to put this away. Well, again, he's not going to hit the 8-ball. He just needs to roll this in, but make sure he rolls it in, and let it run out so that he's, on a line with that 8-ball. He doesn't want to hit this too soft. Oh, dear. Well, that's 2 very good chances that Sergeresh has had to take out racks. He'd have been well in the match if he'd got them. Yeah, well, if he doesn't, if 9-ball isn't his base game, yeah, I can understand that. He'll probably not look at 9-ball again until the next one of these comes around. Well, it is not looking good for Sergeresh already. Unforced errors with very good tables to get out have undone him there. And the lead goes to 5. Try again from Cobra. And again, the table is there for the taking if you can move the cue ball. Now he's got to watch this side pocket here if he's digging in. He's avoided that. He needs to slow up, though. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, he can still cut this. Can he avoid hitting anything, even if he does get the pot? Yes, he's avoided the collision with the 5. He's good in the 3. Now, you can't chicken out in this. You've got to go up that left side into that gap. And he's overhit it again, has he? Whoa, 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 whoa. That'll do. That'll do. If he can just hold himself together and put this one away. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I would have left that short. I would have left that short this side. Guaranteeing you'll get a sight of the 5-ball. Lost opportunities. Oh well, that'll do for a start. That's a bonus. Now you've got to make the most of this, and that 6-ball looks tight. Oh, that's tight. Yeah, that was horrible. Well, there was just a glimmer there for Sergeresh, then it all just fizzled out. Welcome to Mark. I finally got a reply from Popman, but only because his ad sent him a WhatsApp message and he finally paid some attention. He hasn't, well, if he has sent a message, nothing's popped up to actually let me know if he's actually resolved the situation he's in, but if he doesn't, he's running out of time. I think 1 day left to get his match sorted out. I think we've got a fair idea where this is heading. He'll probably end up forfeiting. Well, there was another table there that if Sergeresh's cue ball control was that bit better, it would have been another rack. He would be sitting in 5 at the moment at least. But you don't win matches with what could have been happening, what did happen. It's the reality is he's 8-2 down and heading for a thumping here. And again, Cobra doing the right thing. When the man is down, just keep him down. Keep him kicking. So the trick here for Cobra is getting the shot in the 2, and he might have to leave the high cut in the 2 on this short side on the right side of the table, and possibly up and down for the 3. He's got loads of room to do it. That needs to travel, though. It needs to travel. And that's workable. So up and down, or up, down, and back up for the 3. Is he trying to nuss this in at this angle? No, he's playing the sensible shot. And again, no complaints. He's got the angle. Loads of room to go on the 4. By the way, Mark, have you ever watched that Channel 92? Rewind TV. There's programs on it that I never knew existed. Excuse me, that were shown back in the 70s. They're showing things. There was a thing on today, a program on today. It was obviously a series that was made, and John Thaw was in it, and it was called. Was it called Mitch? Mitch, it was called. I didn't watch it. I just saw a couple of lines on it, and I was switching through the channels. But anyway, this Channel 92 is showing a lot of old stuff from regional television back in the days, like Television Southwest and all of that stuff. There's programs on it I never knew. I never ever saw this. I don't know whether it was ever shown up here or whether it was just shown down in regional television down in England, but this thing called Mitch with John Thaw. There's also another thing called Thick as Thieves, a comedy series that John Thaw was in. And what's his name? Him that was in The Long Good Friday. What's his name? Him that was also in Peter Pan, the Cockney guy. What was he called? He died a number of years ago. You'll know his name. You'll know who I'm. Bob Hoskins. He was in a comedy series with Bob Hoskins, Thick as Thieves, which I never knew existed. And there's also I wasn't even aware there was a spin-off from On the Buses, which was Don't Drink the Water, where Blakey goes to live in Benidorm or somewhere in Spain with his sister, I presume she is. I never ever saw that. There are loads of weird stuff that has surprised me that I never ever remember seeing any of it. Right, well, Cobra has a little tricky one here down the rail. Nailed it, of course. Well, it's a long, dry spell here for Sergeresh. He's stuck in 2. Had 3 good opportunities to get out. Didn't get any of them. And this is going to be a short night for me. Well, where have you been the last couple of weeks, Mark? Tramping around the countryside blocking the traffic again, aye? I presume you have been. It's been the weather for it. Been beautiful up here the last 2 or 3 weeks. Although the weather's going to break down this week, that's the usual. We'll be back to rain at some point. Ah, right, so you'll be giving that the show-off treatment. So we have this match going on at the moment, and there's another match scheduled at 8 o'clock British Summer Time, which is in another hour and 22 minutes. And that's the one between Albinario and LS3. And that will be on Slim's Twitch channel. You can all jump over to that. And hopefully that's going to be a better match than this, the way this is shaping up. And one thing's for certain, that if things do go according to the sort of the seedings, as you would call it, there's a very strong likelihood that Cobra's going to have to step up big time for his round 2 match. There is a possibility that it will be him and Albinario battling out in round 2, but the only person that can decide different is LS3. And she is capable. But once again, if she gets it in her head to try and outshoot Albinario, it might not be the wisest tactic of the night. If she plays sensible and solid, keeps control of the table, which is important at awkward times, then you never know. But I'm just hoping that she makes a match of it. That's all I'm hoping for. So we are 40 minutes into this one. And Cobra's, I presume, is he going to stun out, or is he going to just hold it for the corner? He's 11-2 in front. Unassailable lead. Cobra would need to fall apart, lose his internet connection, end up forfeiting to lose this match. That's the only way he's going to lose. Eight Ball thought about it, but Cobra's had his fair share of dry breaks. That's at least 4. And 6 Ball is going nowhere fast. Well, he can cut the 1, but there's not really a great deal on for him here, apart from just hooking himself again in the 2. But what he doesn't want to do is hammer this and break that 8 and 6. He doesn't want to do that. Oh dear. That was almost a decent shot there in terms of the rollout, but it rolled into the pocket now. Cobra's got 2 problems here. 4 Ball and 7 Ball. Well, you can certainly make that into a combo. A lot more than you can ever do with that 6 and 8. So let's see how he works this out. Well, he's working it out by saying, to hell with it, I'm just going to play the combo. That solves that issue. I'm pulling out the rarefied triple reverse streamer jinx. Albie has no chance. Well, I'm just interested in somebody like we had in the straight pool. You know, Coldest Pillow managed to get the job done in adversity as well. I'm hoping LS3 is up for the battle tonight. Well, he's a bit straight, but I think he'll just drop this in and make sure he leaves an angle in the 5 so he can run it up table and hold for that 8, which he can do right now, not a problem. Can play a little draw, punch this in. Or in fact, the little stun was good enough. And the usual half-wit is in the room and left the room. Well, seeing as you're, well, presume you're still here, Slim. These matches on Monday night, it's similar. We've got one match starting an hour before the other. So my intention was to do the first one and leave the later one to you if you're around, because it's getting too late for me. What one was I talking about again? Matt against Bankster, that's at 7 p.m. And then an hour later, you get Mr. Fox and Spectre Dawn at 8 p.m. So 2 matches tomorrow night. That brain pull-out one with Acero's still in the schedule because Steve hasn't fixed that and probably won't. Well, you've got to play within your limits. Don't get over ambitious. You know, if you're Sergeresh and you're going all out attack, because your potting reliability isn't exactly the best in the world, then it's probably another way of being doomed to failure. You need to get a really lucky night to string a lot of runs together to beat these guys, but again, the unforced errors are the biggest letdown of all for the sort of lesser favoured player. It sort of multiplies because players like Cobra are just going to feast off that all the time. Well, the one thing is you've got nothing to lose playing these guys in the tournament. The pressure's all on them. What you don't want to do is capitulate in your own downfall. And I've seen that too much already in those previous. Well, the match I did see a good chunk of. I didn't see the Miasma match, but what I saw in the Wanwa match, there was absolutely no. Wanwa had no idea in what he was doing, none whatsoever, against Stubb. And Stubb's making mistakes left, right, and centre, scratching a dozen times. And Wan was missing things with ball in hand. He couldn't do anything. You know, that, yes, there might be a bit of nerves in it, but he'd absolutely no control on what he was doing. You really got to get that out of your head. And it's difficult to say to somebody, just relax and play your game, because then, you know, that's maybe giving them the excuse to play far too loose. I say you've got to bring every element to a tournament match. If you're one-dimensional and just going for stuff all the time because you see it and you're hoping to stay at the table, that ain't going to get the job done. You've got to think your way out. You've got to get your built-in GPS system working to move this cue ball around the table to give yourself shots on these balls. And I'm sure Wanma's played VP enough to find his way around a table a lot better than what he did. And Stubb ended up under absolutely no pressure at all. He was just banging things, knowing that there was nothing coming back from Wanma. And then Stubb's going to be in the receiving end of that pretty soon, because he's not going to get away with that sort of stuff. I like to see a player at least putting a bit of thought together and trying to be competitive and put pressure on these guys. But Sergeresh is sat there, eventually gets another rack in the board and needs a quick follow-up if he can. And he's not getting that. And the 8 and 9 ball are married in the rail. I just think these balls are broke. They're broke shitty in the matches I've seen a lot of the time. Did you ever play them in a World Championship? I think I played Albi in a 9-ball World Championship, and I was doing okay for the first part, and then I fell apart. In fact, I don't think I had that many shots. I think that was the problem. As the match went on, don't forget that VP3 was easier in terms of the balls going in and the break and that sort of stuff. So I think I ended up just dying a death. I think that was about the only 9-ball World Championship I played in. I don't think I played in any of them. That was back in the day when I had moved to snooker and stuck with snooker. So Cobra, after 50 minutes, is heading down the home straight here with about 2 furlongs to go in horse racing terminology. The 8-ball, I think, is off the rail. I don't think there's anything to be alarmed about. It's reasonable enough where it's sitting. I think in virtual pool, everybody who's half decent at 9-ball, everybody who's half decent in 9-ball, what they need to ask themselves is how can I be more reliable? And what that then ends up getting down to is the finer points of moving the cue ball and being confident enough to execute those various little touches in the cue ball to control it. Because that's where players like Cobra, Albinario, and Spectre Dawn are streets ahead of everybody else. It's not the fact that you can pop balls easier in a virtual game. It's the fact that when it comes down to the nitty gritty, it's the art form of knowing what you're doing with the cue ball, applying that English side, whatever it is, and being able to execute it confidently, and you're pretty much going to be getting there. These guys are confident enough that they're going to get there and give themselves a shot at the next ball. Okay, things go wrong. We all accept that. But the vast majority of the times, these guys are doing that day in, day out, all the time. and the lesser players aren't there. All of us, myself included, because you have to look at those finer points to improve your game. So you have to work at it. And if you don't work at it, you're just going to be treading water all the time and falling short of the mark all the time when you come up against these guys in this tournament. The prime example of that is Sergeresh with the three good opportunities he's had with racks where it was all about the art form of moving the cue ball, because there was nothing awkward in those three tables. It was just about moving the cue ball in the right direction to give yourself that shot. Well, there's a mistake again. And Sergeresh didn't get that done, and that's why he lost all the racks. Now, if you then talk about Stubb does things generally in a less controlled form than what Cobra, Albinario, and Spectre Dawn does. Stubb, a lot of the time, is playing shots because he can get away with them, and potting balls because he can get away with them, and he gets himself in trouble because his cue ball's too loose most of the time. That's been Stubb's problem in all the years in Virtual Pool 4 since we moved to Virtual Pool 4. He's realised, well, tell a lie, he hasn't realised, because he's still doing the same shit he's been doing. He hasn't realised that you have to then put the work in to have a better control in the cue ball and keep it tighter. He gets away with his natural ability, if that's the way you want to describe it. But when he comes up against the top players, he falls short because he's not getting himself in proper shape. The cue ball's running far too loose, and he ends up banging his way out and doing stupid stuff. We've seen it far too often. And you can tell Stubb to your blue in the face of where his problem is, and he just doesn't, he's not interested. I think part of that's also because in his defence, and it's not often that we defend Stubb, he doesn't play VP as much as he used to. And so he's sort of trying to find his feet every time he gets to the table. So Cobra is 4 away from the inevitable. Oh, aye, he's always got confidence. I'll give him that. He always looks on the bright side of life as far as his own game's concerned. And then it ends in misery. And then when he does get to a 9-ball final, he bottles out and he starts pissing players around, not arranging the time, and he ends up getting forfeited because of it. Well, it could be 2 rails. Watch the scratch if he hits it too hard. And he's gone short. He's gone short and he's bumped to 7. And now he's going to have to cover a little bit of land here. Well, there's a gift for you, Sergeresh. So it's just scraps that Sergeresh is getting. Which exactly what Wanwa was getting the other night. It was all, there wasn't a rack that Wanwa actually worked to win. Everything that he got was a gift from Stubb because Stubb made an ass of something or scratched or did something daft. And Wanwa had maybe, 2-3 balls to pot to win the rack. Wide open table. So Sergeresh gets to 5. And just when you want somebody to throw him a bone, he comes up dry again. Let's have a look at that 8 and 9. Well, they're not set. But obviously you can pot the 8 from the short side. And the handy thing for that is that the 7 is that side of the table. Now, well, he can cheat the pocket. I mean, there's loads of room. You can get it by the 4, no problem. You can hammer this in if he wants, in fact. No, he's caught the 4. Got caught out there, Cobra. And again, he's not left anything comfortable and simple for Sergeresh to get in. He's got a dodgy cut. He can go around the angles. Past that 8 and 9, he's going the other way, and he's still going to get there. That's a good shot. Now, when you say Stubb is funny, do you mean funny ha-ha or just funny? If you know what I mean. Well, that's helped the situation. That's made life a lot easier. Now, can he pot this 6 ball? Can he get this 6 ball put away? And more to the point, is he going to have a shot in the 7? And the answer to all of those questions is no. And all he's done, in fact, is made Cobra's life that bit easier by bumping the 8 ball into play and making it a lot more accessible. I think Cobra can thin this in and sneak round the back. Yeah. Now, is he going to be in no man's land? Yes, he is. So, he's going to have to make the bank, and it's not set. Is it set perfect enough for the bank? Is that line good enough? He's having to cut across it a wee bit. Yeah, it wasn't a perfect bank, but Sergeresh is going to have the option here or the opportunity to show Cobra how it's done. And he's caught the knuckles as well. And that will be that. Still a bit of a testy cut in the 7, but he just has to hit this hard enough, get the cue ball further into the table, or high enough into the table, down towards us, and he'll be out. I'm streaming, but the contract didn't go through in Spain, so it's blacked out there. I think you should make it pay-per-view slim in Spain, because most of these expats in Britain are all ex-criminals, Hazard included. That's where they went to avoid justice back in the day. So Cobra 3 away, and Sergeresh from Cobra's dry break going to have to play this combo, I would think, unless he's going to cut the two the other way. And would you believe it, he's bumped to two and killed it. Right, well, tried the billiard. And now, it looks a bit, you're looking at the bank again. Got to get into the gap for that three. And he didn't get there. He didn't really fully commit there, Cobra, because he ended up hooking himself in a three. Now, can he billiard the nine in? Yes, he can. So there's a little bonus for Sergeresh. Well, a punch around the table and kill the cue ball, and he'll give Cobra some of his own medicine. But the line is there to hit this two, which you should do because it's a pretty good line to get to the one ball. Did I say the two? I meant the one. And he hasn't got the rail after it, so ball in hand for Sergeresh. But things are a wee bit awkward here. Yes, he can roll through for the two, but look where the three ball is. He'll do well to get a shot in this. This is ugly where this three's sitting, hampered by the 4 and 9. But if he can get down the table, he can push this three away somewhere and put Cobra in bother. Well, he's bumped to 5. He's given himself half a chance. Still not easy. And again, pushing it to the rail. He's not going to get second prize either. No, of course he isn't. I see there was a lot of bad weather in the States. It made the headlines, and I was watching the TV. There was a good handful of people get killed by tornadoes. So they did. I don't know what the death toll is now, but there's quite a few get killed. 27, says Larry. Yeah. That's another reason why I'm glad we're over here and you guys are over there. Well, this has been a comfortable Sunday evening for Cobra. A little bit of match practice and potting practice, but not a lot more than that, I'm afraid. Yeah, nighttime tornadoes, you can't see anything. That's horrible. Well, we are an hour and 6 minutes into this match. It's not got much left in it. Well, Cobra's not made a lot of mistakes. He's been undone by the dry brakes. He's not made an awful lot of unforced errors, I don't think. But again, he's got a perfect table here just to practice his runouts again. So the only one he's got to be careful here is overhitting this. Presume he's just coming out into the middle of the table for the 5. Or does he try to sneak back to take it past the 6? It doesn't go past the 6, I don't think. No, it's nothing like it. So that was the one that could have went wrong if he'd overhit that and it ran behind a 9-ball or something stupid, but he's well away from that. Gone a wee bit too far, but again, it's not going to be a problem. And he'll be on the hill. Well, this isn't quite the fastest match of the tournament. I think the stub match was, but this isn't far behind. So Cobra now breaking for the match. And a passage to round 2. And a possible matchup with his old enemy again. Unless LS3 has something to say about it. 4-ball is locked away. Well, Cobra's got a slight angle in this one. Is he going to take a big risk here? No, he isn't. I thought he was going to do something daft there. He'll have to do something daft here if he's going to have a shot and able to do anything with this 3 and 4. Now, he can go tight around the corner and come down here just to get to the 3. He could actually try and get right into the short side of the 3, believe it or not. That would be crazy. Ah, well, I said tight around the corner, but he went a bit tighter than that and scratched. So, yeah, I think he was maybe trying to come right down in the short side to cut that 3 there. But anyway, regardless, it's an opportunity for Sergeresh to get one more charitable rack on the board. Well, he's got to pull away from the 9-ball here. Unless he thinks he can hold that. Yeah, I had to pull away from it. Didn't want to run down to collide it. And now he's left with this blind cut again. Well, my rule of thumb with these is look at the angle, see the angle and play the pot. But that is Sergeresh's final nail in his coffin. And a little tuck down the rail will seal the deal. Right. As my dinner comes back on me. An hour and 10 minutes for that, folks. Well done to Cobra. Good luck to Sergeresh. So in 50 minutes' time, if you've gone in a cup of coffee or something like that, come back, head over to Twitch. If you're already a subscriber, then that's fine. If you're not, go to Twitch, type in One Pocket Slim in the search window. You will find his channel. And if you haven't then subscribed, then make sure you do subscribe. He will be live at 8 o'clock in 50 minutes' time for the match between Albinario and LS3, race to 19. Let's have a look at that bracket just to have a quick update because there might be things we've missed. We've got Larry in round 2 waiting to play the winner of the match between MC_Clarkey and Bankster. Bankster, dangerous player. So he is. We have a match with Lochstar and Potman, which we don't know whether it's going ahead, but they're running out of time. Stubb through to round 2, and he's waiting the winner of that match or whoever gets advanced, whatever happens. But Stubb looks as if he's going to have a fairly comfortable passage to round 3. I think that's the way it's looking at the moment. And further down, we've got Spectre Dawn in round 2. playing that match with Mr. Fox tomorrow night, which again, hopefully Slim will be there for. And further down now, we have Bedhead lined up with Acero. Big time zone difference there between those two guys. Acero way down in Japan and Bedhead in Sweden. So they're going to have to work something out there. We have Bill already through to round 3, so he's waiting on the winner of that Bedhead Acero match. So tell a lie, that's wrong. Bedhead's waiting on the winner of Cobra and whoever he's going to play, Albinarios or LS3. So Bill's got another wait. How long has he got? Quite a while, until June the 8th, until get round 3 played. So Bill's got a few days off now. Further down, we've got Slim in round 3 after his win over Rabbit, 19 racks to 9. I missed that one. And Coldest Pillow lined up with Interchange X. The deadline for those matches is May the 29th, so there's another, 10 days to get them done. So that's where we are. The only matches on the schedule are the one to follow in about 45 minutes' time between Albinario and LS3. Brainful out and Acero, that is a forfeit apparently. So Acero will... Did I never notice that in the bracket? Let me have a look at that again. Did I say he was through? Where the hell was Acero? I scrolled right down past that. There it is, that's right. So Brainful Out did forfeit and Acero is through playing Bedhead. What was I saying? Right, so tomorrow night we'll have 2 matches on the schedule unless somebody sets up another match, but I will be there for MC, Clarkey and Bankster tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. British Summer Time. And the match to follow, Fantastic Mr. Fox up against Spectre Dawn. Let's see if Mr. Fox can give Spectre Dawn a battle. And that's at 8 p.m. British Summer Time or 3 p.m. Eastern. And hopefully Slim will cover that one. Well, that's it, folks. It wasn't a great match. It wasn't the best viewing, but Cobra won't be caring. He's through. He can relax. And he can worry about the likelihood of meeting the old enemy in round 3. That's it. I'll bid you good night. I'm off for a coffee, and then I'll jump into the stream on a Twitch channel to watch a bit of that match with Albinario LS3. So good night. Take care. See you again soon.